Hey guys, Justin Thompson, physical therapist. I'm bringing you a full body mobility session here today, so I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's get right into it. Move with Freedom PT is a name owned and controlled by Thompson Physical Therapy, PLLC. Not all exercise or health information is suitable for everyone. The information provided is for educational and informational purposes only. No information is to be taken as medical or other health advice pertaining to any individual's specific health or medical condition. The information should not replace the professional diagnosis and treatment needed from a qualified healthcare provider. Alright guys, we're going to get started here in about 5 seconds. And we're going to start with some diaphragmatic breathing. So what I want you to do is take a nice deep breath in through your nose. And then let it out through your mouth. Now you shouldn't be getting a lot of motion through your chest. It should be coming from your belly. We're going to do this for about a minute. Just want to get blood flowing, oxygenation in your blood. So it's ready to accept all of these mobility drills that we're about to do. You can close your eyes if you want to. You got about 10 seconds left. And then we're going to start with some neck circles. So we're going to go through a nice full range of motion with our neck, starting toward our chest. And then you're going to turn your head and come all the way up, rotating all the way through and around. We're going to do it for 30 seconds in one direction. And then we're going to switch here in about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch it the other way. Just getting through a nice full range of motion through your neck, just trying to get some mobility through the joints in your spine. You can either be sitting on your knees like I am, sitting on the ground, or you can be sitting in a chair, however is comfortable for you. I just want you moving your joints through a comfortable range of motion. And then we're going to go into shoulder circles, so scapular circles here. So you're just going to take your shoulder blade and you're going to go around in this direction. Going front to back right now. Trying to get as much range of motion out of it as you can. I want your muscles to be feeling like they're trying to reach its biggest range of motion. It's not about going fast. It's about getting as much range as you can comfortably. Now, if there's pain in any of these exercises, then you come up short of that. So now we're at 30 seconds, let's reverse it. Like I was saying, if you have any pain at all with any of these motions, then just don't go quite so far into that motion. You should still do the motion, but don't go all the way through it to the point of pain. Alright, so a minute here. Now we're going to go to a horizontal abduction and adduction. So your arms are going to come out to the side. They're going to reach across, hug yourself here, and then reach back as far as you possibly can, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Reach across, other arm over top this time, and then stretch it back out. Good. So reach it across. Give yourself a big hug, stretch it back, squeeze those shoulder blades together. We're going for a full minute on this, okay? So if you're activating those muscles the way that you should, it could get a little bit fatiguing toward the end of it, and that's okay. Because I'm not just working on mobility here, I'm working on your ability to control and use your muscles in a new, bigger range of motion, okay? So nice big range. As much as you can do. Remember, if you have any pain though, keep it in a nicer, easier range. Now we're going to go and start doing some internal and external rotation at the shoulders here. So I want your shoulder blades sitting down and back, rotating in, rotating out. Right now we're doing it at the sides, just like this, down low. trying to get some fluid mobility going on in the shoulder joint. This is good for the cartilage inside of the joint. It's also good to start to activate some of those rotator cuff muscles. Trying to give those muscles as much healthy fluids and healthy blood flow into them as possible. So just internally and externally rotating through the shoulders, just like this. Okay, we're doing it down low. We're about to go out to 90 degrees, so your arms are going to be in the shape of a T. Here in about 5 seconds or so, we're going to switch it and go out to the side into the shape of a T. Just like this, we're going to do the exact same thing though. You're rotating in and out. Now you should feel those muscles in your shoulders start to work a little bit as you're holding out here and rotating, okay? You really want to engage everything so you can even squeeze those fists together and kind of get a little bit more muscular activation throughout the entire arm. Good. So a minute here. So we started at the neck. We've moved into the shoulder blades, now into the shoulders. We've got about 20 seconds left here. And once we're done here, we're gonna actually move into a full shoulder circle. So you're gonna basically take your arm around in as big of a circle as you can. Again, it should be pain-free, but you might feel a little bit of stretching at the ends of your range of motion, and that's what I want. Okay, so full circles going forward. So we're gonna come back and bring it up, around, and forward as much as you possibly can. Just like this. Rotate as you come back behind, and then reaching up over top and coming forward. Again, this is really good for the cartilage in the joints. If we haven't used a range of motion in a long time though, it can feel really challenging to go through these big ranges of motion, all right? But if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So you want to make sure that you are actively kind of going through these ranges of motion that you don't do very often. Just about 10 more seconds left. Big shoulder circles here. Good. As much as you can do. Now we're going to activate the muscles in the opposite direction, so you're going to go backwards. So raising it up in front, bringing it around, back, rotate that shoulder down and around. Good. And we're going for a minute here. Now, these exercises can be a little deceiving, all right? So it looks really simple, looks slow, looks easy, but if you're activating those muscles the way that I want you to, so as you come around, you should feel like those muscles between your shoulder blades are activating, the muscles in your shoulders themselves are activating, and you're getting the fluid flowing through the joint, through the muscles, just like that. Good. Might even start to break a little bit of a sweat doing a little bit of mobility work, and that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. Good. Just a few more seconds, then we're going to work on the elbows. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to do a pull, bringing the palms up, squeeze at the top, and then you're going to rotate down and push away. But I want you activating your biceps and your triceps all the way through the motion. So you're using those muscles as you come up. You're using those muscles as you push down. Keep your shoulder blades relaxed too though. Keep it up and then push away going down, really working on the rotation at the forearm as well as the flexion and extension at the elbow. Good, we're working every joint today, guys. Every joint. I think the only ones we're not working today are the fingers. Good. Bringing it up and pushing down. Bringing it up and pushing it down. Again, you're using those muscles in the arms. You're feeling this activate. Okay, now we're going to do the wrists. So I want you to actually sit here and I want you to take your wrists and go through a nice big circle with the wrist. We're going to go 30 seconds one direction like this. Okay? And keep the fist closed. That way you're not just moving your fingers around. You're actually moving at the wrist. Focus on the flexion, then the rotation, and then the extension coming all the way back as well. Alright, we're going to go 30 seconds in the opposite direction. So switch it, rotate around, working that full range of motion at the wrist. Good. Keep it going. Keep it going. This is a little break before we move into some bigger groups here, some bigger joints, bigger movements. All right, now we're going to move into the thoracic spine. So I want you to go onto your hands and knees. Okay, so I'm going to turn to the side and we're going to do a cat camel. So the cat drops down, the camel humps up. Good. And you should be trying to get good range of motion through your thoracic spine, your mid-back. So up and then back down. Really stretch it and lift that head up. And then really push it down, round it out. Drop it back, feel that mid-back. Good. Up and down for a minute. Should feel muscles in your mid-back start to work a little bit. Make sure you're breathing while you do this stuff. Make sure you're breathing. Good. Now you're going to drop back onto your heels again. And you're going to take this hand, you're going to put it on the lower back. Put your elbow directly under your face. And then I want you to reach that elbow on your back up toward the ceiling. Turn your head toward the ceiling. Up and down like this. Good. We're still working on that thoracic spine, that mid-back. But we're just working it through rotation now. Good. If you feel like you have bad posture throughout the day, your mid-back gets a little sore, oftentimes it's because we have poor mobility and control in our mid-back. Good. Keep going. Almost done. We're going to switch to the other side. Okay, we'll switch. So put that arm right there in front of your face. Bring this other hand to your lower back and do the same thing, rotating. Trying to reach that elbow up toward the ceiling. Feel that stretch through the mid-back. Make sure you're breathing. This one, it's easy to feel like you want to hold your breath. Don't hold your breath. Okay, let's come back onto all fours here. And I want to go side to side. So instead of up and down like the cat camel, you're going to stretch it to one side, just like this, and then stretch it to the other side. Still focusing on that mid-back. Kind of opening up the rib cage now on the sides. Good, reach for that range of motion. Reach for that range of motion. Okay. Feel that stretch as you push through. Trying to move all your joints here. Through that mid-back, we're going to move into the lower back here in just a second. Okay, now we're going to go into a child's pose. and into a cobra position. So you're gonna be sitting down into a child's pose here. So arms out in front of you, and then we're gonna transition forward into a cobra position. Now, if you cannot achieve this position, just go through the range of motion that's comfortable to you. But I want you going back to round out the lower back, and then forward to go back in the opposite direction, working on that mobility. The lower back was designed to move and flex, okay? But we just need to do it under control. So we're going forward to back, flexion and extension in this position. We're about to do a little bit of rotation. So we're gonna go onto your back. And then you're gonna take your knees and you're gonna roll them to the side. Keep your arms stretched out to the side of you, supporting yourself on the ground. Just rotating through the lower back, keeping your shoulders on the ground. If you want to make it a little bit more challenging, you can raise your legs up and go to the side. That's only if you feel like you can control it, okay? Only if you feel like you can control it. It's a little bit more challenging, a little bit more of a core exercise. So if you can't do that though, feet on the ground, just roll side to side. Good. All right. Now we're going to do the hips. So I want you to come up into all fours. And we're going to go through a hip circle. So you're coming up, around, all the way around, all the way around. Good. All the way up, all the way around. Excellent. All the way up, all the way around. Full range all the way through. Don't rush it. There you go. Good. Keep that spine stable though. Keep the spine stable and just move at the hip. Keep that spine stable. Just move at the hip. Rotate around. Come on. There we go. Up and around. Good. Up and around. Very nice. All right, then you're going to switch legs. So same thing, kick it up and around and down. Keep that spine stable. Just move the hip. Just move the hip. Good. Just moving the hip. Just moving at the hip. Nice big circle with the hip as big as you can. Make sure you're activating those muscles in the glutes all the way up, all the way out, and then coming back down. There you go. All the way up, out, and down. Up, out, and down. Good. Keep it going. Excellent. Perfect. Now we're going to work on the knees a little bit. So you can either sit here on the floor or in a chair. And we're going to work on tibial rotation. So you're actually going to take your knee and you're going to rotate the shin bone. You can see how it's not a huge motion, but it's going in and out just like this. So your knee should not be moving. Knee should be still. But the shin bone is what's moving. So point those toes up. Pull them up towards you, towards your shin, and you're rotating in and out just like this. Keep that going for a full minute. Keep it going. Good. And we're going to gonna switch legs. So same thing. Bring this one, hold that thigh steady, pull those toes up towards your shin, and then you're rotating in and out. Bet you didn't know your knee rotated. Right? So it's got a little bit of joint play there. And this is a good thing to be able to do because if you have the ability to kind of rotate in and out and control this, it can really help with preventing knee injuries. If you have this range of motion available to you and for whatever reason you step in a hole or something like that and something twists, it's much more ready to accept a stressful event like that and much less likely to get severely injured. So just rotating in and out just like this. Very good. Okay, so let's work now on ankle circles. So you're actually going to take this through a nice full range of motion up towards your shin, bring it in as far as you can, push down as much as you can, and then around and back up. You should feel all these muscles in the lower leg really working hard to take it through this full range of motion. Point down, bring it in and around and up, really work it hard. Good, bring it up, bring it over and around again. Okay, and let's reverse it, go the other direction now. Good, same thing though. All the way through, big range, big range. It shouldn't be fast, it should be slow and controlled. Big range here. Good. Good, up and around, up and around. I'm making faces because it's not as easy as it looks, right? Same thing with the other leg. Pick that foot up off the ground just a little bit and then point down towards the floor, bring it over and up. Bring it up as much as you can. You should feel stretching, you should feel muscles working all the way through the range of motion, all the way through. Good, up and around, up and around. You should feel the muscles on the inside of the leg when you're pulling in, muscles on the front of your leg when you're pulling up, muscles on the outside of the leg when you're pushing out, and then on the back of the leg when you're pushing down. And I'll switch it, go the other direction. Bring it up and around. Good, nice strong muscular contractions as you go through the range of motion. All the way through. Come on, almost done. 10 seconds. Keep working it. Alright, now you're going to use your hands to work the midfoot. So you're going to put that heel on the floor, you're going to grab the foot with your hands, and you're actually going to rotate in and out with your foot. So just kind of working the mobility in the middle joints of the foot. I told you guys earlier we're working every joint in the body except for the fingers. You know, we're even working into the foot here. So we're going to go 30 seconds on this one, and then we're going to switch over to the other foot. That's coming up right now, so switch, grab that other foot, twist, and push down. Just lift up the inside, push down the inside. Good. Lift up and push down. Just working that mobility, trying to get some good motion through the middle of the foot. Alright, now it's time to work the toes. Ready? So you're going to put your feet on the ground, and we're going to do what's called toe yoga. I want you to focus on one foot at a time. So you're going to pick up your big toe only. Hold for 5 seconds, and then put it down on the ground. Lift up the outer toes only. Hold for 5 seconds, put them back down on the ground. And you're going to keep alternating like this for the next minute. Now this is hard. This is not easy to do. Takes a little bit of coordination, might take some practice on your part. I recommend everybody work on their feet to some degree. Your foot is your foundation to the rest of your body. If there's some sort of dysfunction going on at the feet, it could translate into problems all the way up the chain. So you want to make sure that you have good mobility and control in your feet so that you don't have injuries elsewhere. Again, lifting those toes up on the outside and then the big toe, and then we'll switch. So switch feet, pick that toe up, 5-second hold. Good. If you feel cramping or something like that going on in your foot, try to work through it. There's a little bit of what's called muscular confusion, so we're trying to retrain the muscles how to activate again, especially if you spend a lot of time in really supportive footwear or with arch supports. Those muscles kind of get to where they're shutting down a little bit. So we're trying to reactivate those muscles again. So you may feel a little bit of cramping because they're just not used to doing that motion. Lifting those outer toes up nice and strong, 5-second hold, and then that big toe. Good. This is tough, so if you don't get it this time, practice it. This is really good to do every day just for a couple of minutes. All right, now we're gonna finish out with 1 minute of just nice simple breathing. So find a comfortable position either with the legs crossed or on your knees or in a chair, but I want you sitting up tall. Breathe deep into your belly, through your nose, and then out through your mouth. Alright guys, so we're done with this mobility session. I hope that you guys liked this one. It seems a lot easier and it's not high impact, it's not fast paced. It's a little slower, but it still works a lot of muscles and burns some calories and gets your heart rate going just a little bit, but mostly it's for blood flow and mobility. So I hope that you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and we will see you guys next time, and as always, move with freedom.